dish on their way out the door. They could have killed someone. Like, what an exit. What a way to leave a room. I love the artistic choice of just having the satellite dish casually sitting on the railing instead of, like, folding it down, or securing it, or fastening it. I think it was just a lot better this way. The twins strained to grab the dish, and they apologized to their true friends, Max and Tapeworm.
Hey, could you fucking help?
Carrie's like, what the hell is going on? They're like, oh, Mom, we learned a lesson. She's like, oh, I'm proud of you. And then she grabs the rope, and then they all leave, and they just abandon Carrie by herself. The dish is like 6 feet from the ground at this point. Like, girl, just let it go. Just let it drop. What, do you gotta scrape the side of the building up like 14 stories to yank it up to you? Mr. Mosby gets splashed. Yeah. The B story has quite a bit less going on. When the hotel heiress London Tipton's father, Mr. Tipton, declares to Mosby that she must raise her grades, candy counter girl Maddie is assigned as her tutor. London's generally, let's say, hesitant to learn, and the lesson gets sidetracked when Maddie talks about the newest boy in her life, Lance the hotel lifeguard. London gives her dating advice, in her own special way.
If you want him to notice you, don't be there. While he's chewing gum, he'll be consumed with thoughts of you. Where is she? Why isn't she here? Is she on a hot date?
Which shockingly works.
Oh, I was with. Be mysterious. Aloof. Torture him.
I remember those bubbles.
Someone.
I had a crush on him too.
Else.
Really?
So I guess that means you wouldn't want to go out sometime?
Did
But
not
Maddie
like
comes
his
to realize
personality.
She just is not into Lance at all, and he's completely obsessed with water. All he talks about is water, and she doesn't know how to break it off.
Man,
Mosby comes to reiterate that London will have to go to private school if she can't raise her grades, and the girls both need each other's help.
Help me!
So Maddie finds the courage to break things off, and London aces her test off screen. It's kind of a weird B story. I feel like they could have picked one direction to go in. Either Maddie's tutoring London, or London's giving Maddie dating advice. They don't quite mesh. It feels like the tutoring aspect of this was solely conceived as a means for these characters to start interacting, otherwise have nothing in common. Whereas the main story they wanted to tell was the breakup Lance story. I feel like this could have been 2 different episodes worth of B-plots. This isn't a recurring problem or anything. It's kind of just a weird bug I find in this one first episode. Regardless, Hotel Hangout serves as an excellent introduction to the many hijinks one might expect to find in an episode of The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. And luckily for you and I, we only have 86 more to go. Today we're gonna cook Hello Fresh citrus pork tacos for all the orphans in the orphan hospital. It will be the only... At Mint Mobile,
There's an ad.
They charge you a lot.
I gotta watch Deadpool and Wolverine.
Oh, shit. Let me acquaint you, or more likely reacquaint you, with the main cast of The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. I completely forgot to pack any pants whatsoever on this trip to a 4-star hotel, so I'm just wearing what I came with, which is my high school PE basketball shorts. Zack and Cody Martin, played by Dylan and Cole Sprouse, headlined the series. If
Hey.
you want a tip to remember which one is which, just remember Cole is Cody. They both start with CO, and the other one is the other one. Neither of them start with CO. I have to give the show credit because the twins actually have very distinct personalities from the very beginning. Zack is the troublemaker, the instigator. He's constantly trying to push any boundaries he can just to see what he might possibly get away with.
Next time I tell some babe I'm 15, back me up. All I said was I'm 12. But we're twins.
He bullies his brother, he slacks in class, and he's also characterized by a massive crush on Maddie, which we'll see soon. Cody, meanwhile, is more respectful and courteous. He's a straight A student, he's a stereotypical kid genius who always uses super big words so everyone in the room can be like, in English? And then a laugh track plays, and it's always super funny when that happens. Cody's more gentle and thoughtful, which is something the show always makes fun of him for.
Why do you always give me a wedgie on the bus? Because we can't afford a cab.
Even though they both have the classic 2000s mop on their head bowl cut that every blonde male child star was contractually obligated to have back then, you can't tell them apart because Zack's cheeks are a little bit chubbier, whereas Cody's jawline is a little bit taller. And also, Cody is just a little bit taller than Zack. So it's basically like Mario and Luigi in real life.
Zack, put that back.
I'm Cody. No, he's not. I'm Cody.
Maddie
Maddie Fitzpatrick is played by the one and only Ashley Tisdale, the financially challenged but upbeat teenager who works the candy counter at the hotel. She's as good-hearted as one could possibly be. She's an environmentalist, an activist, a sinless Catholic girl who frequently serves as Zack and Cody's babysitter, at least in this early stretch of the show.
A stretch SUV limo! Oh, yeah! Way to waste our planet's natural resources, Mr. 6 miles per gallon!
This puts her in perfect contrast to Brenda Song's London Tipton, a very overt riff on Paris Hilton. She's as rich as someone could possibly be, and as dumb as well.
These are chess pieces. It's a game that's been played for 5,000 years. Well, then someone should have won already.
Her daddy, the illustrious, perpetually off-screen Mr. Tipton, owns the hotel, and she romps around the lobby every
Does this look
day
like a
without any
beret?
real responsibilities whatsoever.
Does this look like a beret?
Are the perfect yin-yang. They possess everything the other lacks, and this puts them at constant odds with each other. And I guess here I'll mention the cliche fact everyone brings up, which is Brenda was originally gonna be Maddie, and Ashley was originally going to be London, but a casting director had them switch roles at some point, which gave us a very iconic defiance of two traditional stereotypes, that being the smart Asian and the dumb blonde. Phil Lewis, Mr. Marion Mosby, and Kim Rhodes, Carrie Martin are the show's good cop, bad cop authoritarian figures to Zack and Cody. Mosby is the standout character everyone remembers from this show. He's just trying to keep his hotel running smoothly and is interrupted at every possible turn in this never-ending game of cat and mouse with two 12-year-olds who he just never kicks out.
No b-ball today. Game has been canceled on account of this is a hotel.
These Disney Channel sitcoms are like high school theater acting, and Phil Lewis, he's the senior in the class. Carrie, meanwhile, is their sassy, caring mother. She's struggling financially, but doing her best to raise her two sons and instill these idiot boys with some important life lessons along the way.
I'm in such big trouble that I'm grounding myself for having you.
The first season has a very clear and distinct three primary major recurring characters who appear in over a third of the episodes each. Adrian Ramonte plays Esteban, the pure-hearted bellhop who tries so hard not to get on Mr. Mosby's bad side, but hanging out with Zack and Cody winds him getting there constantly anyways.
Grammar.
Brian Stepanek as Arwen is another master of physical comedy. He's the strange inventor who works/lives at the Tipton Hotel. He has a childlike enthusiasm and what starts as a regular, normal crush on Carrie that quickly devolves into the most terrifying, unhinged thing you'll ever see in your life. And lastly, Estelle Harris plays Muriel, the lazy maid who's in
So I
his life mission to
binged
slack off
Zack and Cody
steal a few
by
bucks out of
Kian
everyone around her. All of this out of the way, let's dive into the cute
Carlisle.
little thing that is the sweet life of Zack and Cody, season 1.
Is that a lab rat? How did he get that? He's wearing a lab rat. It looks like the one Leo wears. Ugh. I do want that. It probably wouldn't fit me.
Every 2000 sitcom for children had an obligatory cross-dressing episode. Zack and Cody was very efficient and got theirs out of the way in episode 2. The boys want money to buy new bikes, and that's when they notice a big group of girls checking in for a beauty pageant. Cody immediately falls in love with a young Victoria Justice from the hit Nickelodeon show Victoria Justice.
I know all I need to know about her. Oh yeah? What's her name?
Mosby forbids the boys from interacting with the beauty pageant girls or throwing any sort of wrench into this contest that needs to operate smoothly. You might be surprised to learn that they simply do not listen. Cody comes to bring flowers to Victoria Justice, but when they hear Mosby approaching, he runs into the makeup room to hide. There, a young girl named Tyresha abruptly quits.
No, I quit. I'm sick of beauty pageants. I'm going to science camp.
Where did I go wrong?
Cody, having grabbed her dress, is mistaken for Tyresha and forced to go up on the runway live in front of an audience.
Tyresha enjoys marine biology double dutch, and her hero is George Washington. Carver.
Zack, seeing the prize as $2,000, thinks his brother is an absolute genius because he sees this as a means of getting new bikes. That prize money will cover 1 day at the hotel for the winner. I'm assuming the beauty pageants run like a convention where you can, in theory, stay at whatever hotel you want. I assume the beauty pageant isn't paying for all of the moms and their daughters to get rooms here, so that prize money is not going to accomplish much. Back in the makeup room, Victoria Justice compliments Cody on her performance. And here we meet the obligatory mean girl of the pageant, who is actually young Gigi from Wizards of Waverly Place.
Oh,
When
that's
Victoria
cool.
Justice questions where her flowers came from, Tyresha says they came from her brother Cody. Zach then enters and Cody introduces him as Cody, leading to a very predictable what? Huh? Who? Type of conversation. I'll play you an example. There's going to be hundreds of these in the show.
Huh? Cody. You're Cody. Thanks for the flowers. Right, because I'm Cody, the one that sent you the flowers.
At least one per episode, I'd say. And here's another one for good measure.
Who's Tyresha? The new weather girl on TV. She's always wrong.
The TV's not on.
Yeah, that's because we turned it off.
What do you guys have planned for tonight?
I'm sleeping over in tapeworms.
You're not?
No, we had a fight.
You and Tapeworm?
Me and Zach.
You wearing lipstick?
That's what the fight was about. I put lipstick on him while he was taking a nap.
Victoria Justice invites Tyresha to her slumber party, and Cody decides to go there in order to spend time with her. As you do. There we learn that Gigi, Victoria, and Tyresha are the 3 finalists. We also discover that London knows Orlando Bloom.
You know Orlando Bloom.
I bring this up because as the season progresses, we're going to learn that some horrible, unseen incident unfolded between London and Orlando Bloom. And we'll hear more and more about it, but we'll never find out what exactly happened. The next day, Gigi fucks up on stage and is down to 2.
No, you deserve to win. You're so sweet. If you were a boy, I'd kiss you.
Babe, don't do it.
If that isn't closeted lesbian dialogue, I don't know what is. If you were a boy, I'd kiss you. This girl is attracted to women, and she doesn't know it yet. Cody decides that he can't do this anymore, but Zach, who wants $2,000 for a bike, takes objection to his twins' free will.
Well, then take off the dress, because I can't hit a woman.
Zach shoves Cody in a locker and takes the Tyresha mantle himself. There he skateboards on the runway, confusing and impressing the judges. Cody's able to break out of the locker and goes to tackle his brother in front of everyone.
You only think of yourself.
He gave me a
Shoulders
bowl
actually
cut.
reacts to the insanity like normal people today, which audiences will just simply stop doing later in the show.
Zach, why are you wearing a skirt?
I did it so we could win money for bikes.
Oh, thank goodness.
We're just gonna move on. We're just not gonna acknowledge that. So
Some
that we
things
can
don't need to be
see,
addressed.
Like Carrie. Okay, actually, no, we're not. Carrie, throughout this whole show, she is just so openly transphobic. That's like one of her character traits.
We're wearing makeup.
Not exactly the phrase a mother wants to hear from her teenage boys. What are you staring at? You're the one wearing a dress.
And I'm just. Why is the woman with the lesbian haircut the transphobic one?
No.
Like, they're all they're all like letters, you know? They're all cousins to each other, basically. They can't be mean to each other. And I ran a poll on Instagram to determine if it was a lesbian haircut or not, because, like, I could be wrong. I've never been that lesbian.
1000%.
And people were like, yes, it is.
1000%.
Then I ran a second poll that only lesbianish people could vote on. And the results were, like, the same. It's just like a 2/3 majority in both instances. So
No, I think
scientifically we
that's
have proof
the.
that is
Isn't
a
that the
lesbian
haircut
haircut.
Ellen
Those
DeGeneres
words that
had?
to me,
And she's like the
nothing
original
about
lesbian.
Carrie as a character or her performance seems particularly wildly non-straight to me. Like, she's no Alex Russo, she's no Stevie. She is always gushing about her past boyfriends. It's like a running gag.
You know, I had a boyfriend once.
Oh no, here it comes. You know,
That's her.
Very interesting.
She's.
here
What's it called? Doubling down. That's her doubling down.
Who has a unique taste in hair. Like, I know a woman who has hair, she still has it. Like, it's not the 80s anymore. What's it doing up there? But anyway, Carrie Laura aside, Victoria Justice is like, thanks for being nice to me, Cody. And it's the most awkward acting ever because you can tell both of the actors are a little nervous to be doing a stage kiss. But that's also how this interaction would go if real middle schoolers were talking and having this conversation. It wouldn't be non-awkward.
I shouldn't have called you a jerk. It's okay. Well, I guess this is goodbye. Yeah, bye.
Then she kisses Cody and we never see her again.
It's okay.
This episode doesn't have a formal B-plot, but every main cast member does have a running gag weaved throughout it. The beauty pageant host is an old rival of Carrie's.
Lowest, most despicable creep I've ever known in my entire life.
Carrie!
They end up having to do a performance together.
When pigs fly.
You fly?
Mr. Mosby deals with Gigi's mom, who's like a white trash dance mom.
I'll waive the fee, madam. I understand what it's like to have to look at something utterly repulsive.
And Maddie's bitter over this demeaning competition that boxes young women into unattainable beauty standards, while London thrives and lives vicariously through all the girls, having won this herself as a kid.
What kind of superficial airhead thinks that's cool?
Isn't this cool?
Something you may have taken note of, there are a lot of speaking characters in this episode. As we've gone back in time through these shows, the budgets used to be so much bigger. I always look at extras and their speaking roles, as you may recall from last time. The 20-episode first season of Lab Rats has 20 speaking characters. The 98 four-season run of Lab Rats has 81. The 21-episode first season of Wizards has 88 speaking roles. The 110-episode four-season run of Wizards has 301. Well, let's add a third comparison, shall we? Zack and Cody's first season has 26 episodes, and there are 112 named speaking characters. If you look at the entire 87-episode series, there are 408 distinct named speaking characters who have lines. And name could just be something as simple as bartender or bellhop, but they have to be credited at the end of the episode. It's just insane. Look at the math here. Lab Rats introduced an average of 0.83 characters per episode, which is honestly more than it felt like. Wizards jumped up to 2.2 characters per episode. And here, Zack and Cody more than doubles it, with 4.6 characters introduced in every single episode on average. Anyway, episode 3. It's called Maddie Checks In.
Zack and Cody need to turn their friend Maddie from rags to riches. It's a Paris original. Get out of my track! And they'll need to do it in time for her big date. They're a hall of fame for this kind of stuff.
It's called prison.
On the next Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, premieres next Friday at 7, 6 Central on Disney Channel.
When two attractive boys check into the hotel, London says a real line of dialogue that someone was paid to write.
Look what the hunk fairy just dropped off.
Me, when I look at what the hunk fairy dropped off. These are two cute rich guys, one of which happens to be close with London. Maddie finds the other one quite attractive, but doesn't...
I kind of want candy, but I don't have any money, so now I'm just sad.
think he'd be interested in her
Hey.
because he's rich. But that's when she discovers he recycles.
Since when?
Well, since my father bought Oregon and started chopping down the trees.
Shout out to this actor for pronouncing Oregon correctly, because every goddamn person on the planet seems to say Oregon when they're making videos or filming a television production.
Oregon?
No one
More like
says
Orleans.
Oregon. I have not heard a single person in my
I don't know if that
entire
works.
life pronounce it that way. It is Oregon. All of us say Oregon. Anyone who says Oregon should be ashamed of themselves
Be shot.
and skin themselves alive.
I protest against that.
Me too.
I got dragged off by a car.
Oh, I got grounded for 2 weeks.
It seems Jason has simply assumed Maddie's a fellow rich person. He's blown away by a fellow rich person who recycles and just can't stop thinking about her. London, meanwhile, has gotten usher tickets for her, Jason, and Kyle. But Mosby does not want her going out again after some recent bad press.
Your father saw this and memoed me, no more these.
That's unironically so funny. London absolutely got wasted at a party, and the show's not even trying to hide it. So funny. After some recent bad press.
Your father saw this and memoed me, no more of these.
That's unironically so funny. London absolutely got wasted at a party, and the
Could
show's
this
not
be
even
skin
trying
color?
to hide it. London tells Mosby she'll invite Maddie, a guaranteed killjoy, to ensure that nothing will go wrong this time. So Maddie comes to the concert, fulfilling her usefulness to London until she's dispatched.
Let's all go to the rooftop. Except for Maddie and Jason.
So,
Something of note, London did not seem to recognize the guys at first, and then when she realized it was someone she knew, she seemed really awkward about it.
London?
But now she's dived into hanging out with him again. And that's
Okay, I'll use this one.
100% an acting choice from Brenda's song. It gives the energy of like, oop, I fucked that guy at a party a while ago. That's weird that we're seeing him again. But then they're just kind of vibing again. She's like, okay, we ball. But the realistic depictions of human connection can only operate in subtext provided by Brenda's song. Because this is dialogue.
So you're leaving tomorrow? Well, I guess we
Should start kissing now.
But I hardly know you.
Was a goodbye kiss?
Okay, bye.
Bye. Second, Cody stir through the peephole as Maddie kisses the dude. Whatever the hell his name is. Jason.
They're kissing goodbye.
There's something about that delivery.
Just say goodbye?
Zach hates it, as this episode is our introduction to his crush on Maddie.
No problem, sweet thing. Aww. Call me in 10 years.
The next day, Jason brings his parents to meet Maddie, and she's extra unwilling to reveal her true social status now. Cody weaves a lie that she lives in the Imperial Suite on the top floor. No relation to the Rogue One soundtrack piece of the same name by Mike Giacchino.
Hi there, I'm Michael Giacchino.
Unable to get out of this lie, it's up to the twins to do what they do best. Chaos.
Lion
I
stew.
wanna help my future wife hook up with some other dude. Because he's leaving tomorrow and she'll owe you big time. Okay.
Here, they're just side characters in Maddie's story, which is fun.
Do you have any idea how much they cost? Aw, she thought we're gonna pay.
Cody creates a distraction while Zach spawns a key card for the room, and they steal one of London's dresses from Esteban. In comes Jason's family, but throwing a wrench into the plans is the fact that they want to go see Carrie Martin perform in the lounge, having read up on it as a highlight of Boston. Another problem arises when the famous wrestler, the Amputator, arrives to check in.
Your Imperial Suite awaits.
And he's staying in Maddie's suite.
Is that the expensive one? Everything in the Tipton is expensive.
Cody stalls the Amputator in the lobby to slow down his arrival to his room. Zach disassembles all of the furniture so the Amputator will swiftly leave his room to go complain about it. They turn off the room's power using an exposed circuit breaker on the wall that apparently anyone can access at any time. Cody goes to warn Maddie, interrupting his mom's show along the way.
No, don't run away from me.
And you gotta give Carrie credit here, she just goes along with Maddie's plan despite barely knowing what's happening.
How many young girls would allow a struggling single mother with 2 children to stay in her suite? So much nicer than the minivan we used to live in.
At this point, London comes looking for a dress. When Zach's unable to convince her it was eaten by wild Argentinian moths, he proceeds to lock her in a closet. He also reassembles all of the furniture. In his short-sighted child mind, the coast is now clear for Maddie to return to her suite with her guests. So guess who shows up?
Aha! Get out of my dress!
What does she mean, her dress?
She designed it!
Maddie's forced to confess the truth, and she leaves, sobbing. Carrie follows her and comforts her in the elevator.
I just thought he wouldn't like me because we come from 2 separate worlds. I mean, he comes from champagne and caviar, and I come from beer and pretzels.
Maddie unironically has a great character arc in this episode. The show in this early era is very sincere and heartfelt. It's laying down this rock-solid emotional foundation so that you care about these characters before it eventually just becomes surface-level hijink and slapstick for 80 episodes. Hijinks. Plural. More than one hijink.
You shouldn't sell yourself short. And I bet if you give Jason half a chance, he'll tell you the same thing.
The next day, as Jason prepares to leave, he bids Maddie farewell. But through it all, he likes Maddie for who she is, and would have had she told the truth all along. But then he leaves and we never see him again. I think this is genuinely really great children's entertainment. It's not talking down to its audience, it has a great message, but it's not preachy. There's real heart to it. This is obviously not something I'd watch if it were coming out now, and if I weren't watching it for YouTube content. But I do think it holds up really well, especially compared to other shows I've revisited.
Don't go away. The sweet life of Zach and Cody will be right back.
He's here to stay.
I wanted to briefly talk about the Tipton Hotel and its various visual inspirations, as I alluded to earlier. Obviously, it's a CGI model in every single establishing shot we see. Occasionally redecorated, occasionally
They
on
used to
different
look
backdrops.
so much. They used to look so much more real when I was a kid.
Every single source on the internet all seem to unanimously agree that the general exterior of the hotel is based on the Fairmont in Vancouver, while this little entrance is inspired by the Fairmont Copley Plaza Hotel in Boston, Massachusetts. And this definitely seems to be what they physically filmed, then just plopped a CGI hotel on. The Tipton and the Vancouver Fairmont definitely look similar, but they're clearly not a one-to-one match. Despite this, every single article insists that they are one and the same. But there's no source cited anywhere, no member of the show's production staff verifying this claim.
What's Oddballs?
According to the wiki, the
I just
Tipton
saw that
Hotel
compliment.
address is 138 St. James Avenue, which is the location of the real-life Fairmont Copley Plaza. But I have absolutely no clue where that information came from. Maybe there's a line I missed? I doubt it, because I was paying attention for something like that. Maybe it's just on a letter in the background. I haven't been able to find it. I searched that address into the wiki, hoping it'd be on an episode's trivia page, and the only result was this one, which gave me that information in the first place. It also says the theme song was filmed at the Fairmont Vancouver.
My phone's on
This is
20%.
not a real hotel.
Speedrun,
This is not
guys.
set up a multi-story camera rig to zoom in and out of the windows in the theme song. This is CGI, obviously. So it's very possible that someone may have just looked at the Fairmont Vancouver one day, said, "Say, that looks like the Tipton," and then plastered it on the internet as a fun fact, which every single other publication parroted without citing any sort of source. But there is still a chance that it was a real inspiration. Vancouver is basically like Canada's LA. Because of tax credits, a ton of shows and movies film up there. Like all the CW superhero shows. Zack and Cody's own movie, filmed in Vancouver 10 minutes away from the Fairmont Hotel. So at the end of the day, I genuinely have no idea. There is absolutely a chance that me and my unnamed sibling, the star of the ZHC YouTube channel, Kayla Carlisle, may have driven to Canada for no reason.
They had a sign for a police state park. I bet the other sign would access violence. Wow. Is that the ocean?
No, that's Canada.
I'm scared, Kim. What are they gonna ask me?
Just for a passport.
Oh, I told you they speak a different language. Look at that. What is that? French? They speak French here. I think. I've heard. Okay.
What's going to happen if you move on to it for now?
We can have that. But now I know.
Hi, I'm Dylan Sprouse, and you're watching Disney Channel.
Where's my charger?
The fourth episode is called Hotel Inspector. Esteban reveals that
With the YouTube,
I should go make some
you blend
food.
up to 30 artists into one big custom radio station, which means now your thumb is basically a tiny little DJ. Get YouTube Music Premium. Try 1 month free.
said titular hotel inspector is coming for a surprise inspection.
How can it be a surprise inspection if they sent a fax?
Because the fax came 2 weeks ago and I forgot to give it to you. Surprise!
Mosby is not worried at all, seeing as nothing's changed since the last inspection. Except for the arrival of the twins.
Alright,
Seeing all the ways things could go
I'm gonna
wrong,
be right
he offers
back.
them tickets to a Red Sox game to keep them out of the lobby. Today we also meet Muriel, the scummy cleaning maid who's never cleaned in her life.
Did you see a $5 bill?
I thought you were throwing that away.
It was on my dresser.
My bad.
The twins have brought home 2 rats from school for a science experiment, who they've named Bonnie and Clyde. Zach decides to bring them to the game with him.
Oh, sorry, Bonnie. I didn't know you'd want to go too. How sexist of me.
The hotel
How sexist that is funny.
But then he leaves and we never see him again. I think this is genuinely really great children's entertainment. It's not talking down to its audience, it has a great message, but it's not preachy. There's real heart to it. This is obviously not something I'd watch out now, and if I weren't watching it for YouTube content. But I do think it holds up really well, especially compared to other shows I've revisited.
Don't go away. The Sweet Life of Zach and Cody will be right back.
I wanted to briefly talk about the Tipton Hotel and its various visual inspirations, as I alluded to earlier. Obviously, it's a CGI model in every single establishing shot we see, occasionally redecorated, occasionally on different backdrops. Every single source on the internet all seem to unanimously agree that the general exterior of the hotel is based on the Fairmont in Vancouver, while this little entrance is inspired by the Fairmont Copley Plaza Hotel in Boston, Massachusetts. And this definitely seems to be what they physically filmed, then just plopped a CGI hotel on. The Tipton and the Vancouver Fairmont definitely look similar, but they're clearly not a one-to-one match. Despite this, every single article insists that they are one and the same. But there's no source cited anywhere, no member of the show's production staff verifying this claim that I can find. According to the wiki, the Tipton Hotel's address is 138 St. James Avenue, which is the location of the real-life Fairmont Copley Plaza. But I have absolutely no clue where that information came from. Maybe there's a line I missed? I doubt it, because I was paying attention for something like that. Maybe it's just on a letter in the background. I haven't been able to find it. I searched that address into the wiki, hoping it'd be on an episode's trivia page, and the only result was this one, which gave me that information in the first place. It also says the theme song was filmed at the Fairmont, Vancouver. But this is not a real hotel. They did not set up a multi-story camera rig to zoom in and out of the windows in the theme song. This is CGI, obviously. So it's very possible that someone may have just looked at the Fairmont, Vancouver one day, said, say, that looks like the Tipton, and then plastered it on the internet as a fun fact, which every single other publication parroted without citing any sort of source. But there is still a chance that it was a real inspiration. Vancouver is basically like Canada's LA. Because of tax credits, a ton of shows and movies film up there. Like all the CW superhero shows. Zack and Cody's own movie, filmed in Vancouver 10 minutes away from the Fairmont Hotel. So at the end of the day, I genuinely have no idea. There is absolutely a chance that me and my unnamed sibling, the star of the ZHC YouTube channel, Kayla Carlisle, may have driven to Canada for no reason.
They had a sign for a Peace State Park. I bet the other sign went back says Violence State Park. Wow. Is that the ocean?
No, that's Canada.
I'm scared, Kim. What are they gonna ask me?
Just for a passport.
Oh, I told you they speak a different language. Look at that. What is that? French? They speak French here. I forgot. I think. I've heard.
First man can't come in.
Okay.
What's gonna happen? You can hold on to it for now.
We couldn't have that. But now I know.
Hi, I'm Dylan Sprouse, and you're watching Disney Channel.
The fourth episode is called Hotel Inspector. Esteban reveals that said titular hotel inspector is coming for a surprise inspection.
How can it be a surprise inspection if they sent a fax?
Because the fax came 2 weeks ago and I forgot to give it to you. Surprise!
Mosby is not worried at all, seeing as nothing has changed since the last inspection. Except for the arrival of the twins. Seeing all the ways things could go wrong, he offers them tickets to a Red Sox game to keep them out of the lobby. Today we also meet Muriel, the scummy cleaning maid who's never cleaned in her life.
Did you see a $5 bill? I thought you were throwing that away. It was on my dresser. My bad.
The twins have brought home 2 rats from school for a science experiment, who they've named Bonnie and Clyde. Zach decides to bring them to the game with him.
Oh, sorry, Bonnie. I didn't know you'd want to go too. How sexist of me.
The hotel inspector arrives late, mere moments after Esteban accidentally glued himself to Mosby.
I got held up at Logan Airport.
Traffic?
No, the whole luggage system stinks. I had to remove it.
And what is probably the most shocking information I've ever heard in my entire life. This woman is Caroline Ray, the voice actress of Phineas and Ferb's mom.
I'm going to get my hair done. I'll be back at 2.
I am Ilsa Schickel-Gubermeiger, the Tipton Hotel Inspector.
She has a very large mole on her chin, which a character points out approximately every 2 minutes. When Bonnie and Clyde slip out of Zach's pocket upon returning from the game, Ilsa is so disturbed by Mosby's poor management of the hotel that she fires him on the spot in the middle of the public lobby. She takes over managerial duties and rules the Tipton with an iron fist while the twins search for their rats.
What is that non-regulation pin you are wearing on your Tipton uniform?
It belonged to my great-grandfather who died fighting for my country's independence.
How touching. Take it off.
All the while, London forces Maggie to throw a birthday party for her dog, Ivana. We see a couple moments of them prepping throughout the story. It's not really a B-plot, just setting up a component of the A story's climax. Zach, feeling bad about getting Mr. Mosby fired, goes to visit him in his apartment. There we see he's obsessed with the Tipton Hotel, and it's his entire personality. His apartment is decorated like the lobby, and he spent his week building a scale model out of popsicle sticks. Zach accidentally knocks it down because of course he does. Mosby's not willing to come back, and as we see the twins' bedroom for the very first time, Carrie instills her boys with a little bit of wisdom.
It's good that you apologize, but that doesn't always fix everything. Sometimes it takes more than just saying you're sorry.
That night, the rats return. I don't know how they managed to get up to the 23rd floor of this hotel, but they did. Zach sees an opportunity and devises a plan to get Mosby back.
Cody, wake up! Are we moving again?
These early episodes of the show always seem to contain multi-layered capers. And now we reach this episode's. Today is the day of Ivana the dog's party, and the day that the Tipton Review Board will be arriving to review Ilsa. First, the twins will get called to the cat lovers convention and invite them.
You and your entire group have just won a free weekend at the Tipton Hotel. That's right. Bring as many kitties as you'd like.
They don't request any further information. Next, they hack into the Tipton's computer system and reassign the rooms of all the guests in the entire hotel, causing them to swarm into the lobby. Terrifying that they can do this. Esteban doesn't know how to manage the computer the way Mosby did. Now they stage a call to him that convinces him to return.
Oh no, the water is up to my neck, losing air fast.
I'm coming, Mama!
The Cat Lovers Convention arrives for their free rooms, as do the review board. And now it's time for the twins to unleash their rats. The cats chase the rats into the birthday party, then the dogs chase the cats all around the lobby, and there's chaos everywhere, and Ilsa's powerless to stop it. That's when Mr. Mosby arrives and takes the entire situation under control.
Dogs, halt! Sit!
He deals with every guest's problems, he contains the animal chaos, and he inspires the loyalty of his staff once more. The review board is so impressed with his work that they hire him back and fire Ilsa on the spot in front of everyone in the public lobby.
I'll get you next time, Mr. Mosby. And your little dog, too.
And they don't have to the 23rd floor of this hotel, but
I'm here, I'm just eating.
Zach sees an opportunity and devises a plan to get Mosby back.
Cody, wake up!
Opportunity. She fires him on game. Wrong, he offers accept.
But now I know.
I'm gonna eat
Dylan
this.
Sprouse, and you're watching Disney Channel.
The fourth episode is called Hotel Inspector. Esteban reveals that said titular hotel inspector is coming for a surprise inspection.
How can it be a surprise inspection if they sent a fax?
Because the fax came 2 weeks ago and I forgot to give it to you. Surprise!
Mosby is not worried at all, seeing as nothing has changed since the last inspection. Except for the arrival of the twins. Seeing all the ways things could go wrong, he offers them tickets to a Red Sox game to keep them out of the lobby. Today we also meet Muriel, the scummy cleaning maid who's never cleaned in her life.
Did you see a $5 bill?
I thought you were throwing that away.
It was on my dresser.
My bad.
The twins have brought home 2 rats from school for a science experiment, who they've named Bonnie and Clyde. Zach decides to bring them to the game with him.
Oh, sorry, Bonnie. I didn't know you'd want to go too. How sexist of me.
The hotel inspector arrives late, mere moments after Esteban accidentally glued himself to Mosby.
I got held up at Logan Airport.
Traffic?
No, the whole luggage system stinks. I had to redo it.
And what is probably the most shocking information I've ever heard in my entire life. This woman is Caroline Ray, the voice actress of Phineas and Ferb's mom.
What?
I'm going to get my hair done. I'll be back at 2. I am Ilsa.
I had no idea.
The Tipton Hotel Inspector.
She has a very large mole on her chin, which a character points out approximately every 2 minutes. When Bonnie and Clyde slip out of Zach's pocket upon returning from the game, Ilsa is so disturbed by Mosby's poor management of the hotel that she fires him on the spot in the middle of the public lobby. She takes over managerial duties and rules the Tipton with an iron fist while the twins search for their rats.
What is that non-regulation pin you are wearing on your Tipton uniform?
It belonged to my great-grandfather who died fighting for my country's independence.
How touching. Take it off.
All the while, London forces Maggie to throw a birthday party for her dog, Ivana. We see a couple moments of them prepping throughout the story. It's not really a B-plot, just setting up a component of the A story's climax. Zach, feeling bad about getting Mr. Mosby fired, goes to visit him in his apartment. There we see he's obsessed with the Tipton Hotel, and it's his entire personality. His apartment is decorated like the lobby, and he spent his week building a scale model out of popsicle sticks. Zach accidentally knocks it down because of course he does. Mosby's not willing to come back, and as we see the twins' bedroom for the very first time, Carrie instills her boys with a little bit of wisdom.
It's good that you apologize, but that doesn't always fix everything. Sometimes it takes more than just saying you're sorry.
That night, the rats returned. I don't know how they managed to get up to the 23rd floor of this hotel, but they did. Zach sees an opportunity and devises a plan to get Mosby back.
Cody, wake up! Are we moving again?
These early episodes of the show always seem to contain multi-layered capers. And now we reach this episode. Today is the day of Ivana the dog's party, and the day that the Tipton Review Board will be arriving to review Ilsa. First, the twins will get called to the cat lovers convention and invite them.
You and your entire group have just won a free weekend at the Tipton Hotel. That's right. Bring as many kitties as you'd like.
They don't request any further information. Next, they hack into the Tipton's computer system and reassign the rooms of all the guests.
I'm still here. I'm just eating. I'm taking a break.
Swarm into the lobby. Terrified that they can do this. Esteban doesn't know how to manage the computer the way Mosby did. Now they stage a call to him that convinces him to return.
Oh no, the water is up to my neck, losing air fast. I'm coming, Mama!
The Cat Lovers Convention arrives for their free rooms, as do the review board. And now it's time for the twins to unleash their rats. The cats chase the rats into the birthday party, then the dogs chase the cats all around the lobby, and there's chaos everywhere, and Ilsa's powerless to stop it. That's when Mr. Mosby arrives and takes the entire situation under control.
Dogs, halt! Sit!
Why can't he control the
He
kids?
deals with every guest's problems, he contains the animal chaos, and inspires the loyalty of his staff once more. The review board is so impressed with his work that they hire him back and fire Ilsa on the spot in front of everyone in the public lobby.
I'll get you next time, Mr. Mosby. And your little dog, too.
Mosby thanks the kids for saving his job and suggests he fly them all the way to New York when the health inspector arrives.
Imagine living in a luxury hotel with unlimited room service, unrestricted pool access, and
You had your underwear dry cleaned?
Feels good.
The Sweet Life of Zach and Cody, Disney Channel's newest.
Do they even
comedy
get
series.
room service because they live there?
Living in the coolest crib, the Tipton Hotel.
They only live there because their mom works there.
So fired, or you'll be too busy getting facelifts.
For them, it's a life of luxury. For everyone else, it's a living nightmare. The Sweet Life of Zach and Cody. Coming up next on Disney Channel.
And here we reach the series.
Their mom has to be like a really, really good singer for Mr. Mosby to be ignoring all of this.
Far more formal opening as the camera
They
pans
must have,
across
Zach and
the
Cody
Tipton's
must have
lobby
cost
for the
that
very first time. Well, it was intended
hotel
to be the very first time.
like what?
A man
Thousands of
Carrie
dollars?
compliments her on her performance until Zach and Cody emerge, roller skating through the lobby, around the revolving door, knocking over bellhops and furniture and guests, one of which lands on Mosby.
I hope you don't mind, I have kids. Hello?
Carrie grounds her kids, giving the audience this exposition for what would have been the first time.
When you say grounded, does that include the pool and the gym?
Our room on the 23rd floor.
We pick up the next morning.
There, are you blind? You can totally feel it. How do you pull the skin? That's because there's no hair there.
Carrie tells her sons she does not want a repeat of their last hotel. As such, it's time to get them a babysitter.
I was thinking maybe Maddie works in the gift shop. She needs the money, like us.
The Cityscape banner out the window, as well as most of the furniture in the suite, are different than what'll be there in all future episodes.
Maddie, baby's got it going on.
The implication here is that the kids have barely ever spoken to Maddie, if at all, prior to this pilot. Carrie also refers to this as the gift shop, whereas every single episode in the future will call it the candy counter, which I would say is a more accurate name for it, because it is in fact just a counter. And you know what I have just now thought about? What hotel has a candy counter? Let alone a prestigious hotel like a Tipton. I never once questioned this. Throughout my entire childhood, I just fully took it for granted.
Yeah, gift shop makes way more
because
sense.
the show never poked fun at a candy
In
counter
this
being an
context.
odd
In this
thing.
context.
I thought nothing of it. I rewatched this entire show this month and didn't think anything of it until my second watch through of this episode. Mosby arrives with Carrie's bill, which is very high because the boys have been ordering room service.
What bill? Room and board are part of my deal.
Yes, only you have exceeded your first month's allowance, but...
Breathe.
She sits down with her kids and has an earnest conversation about their living situation.
This is the best gig we've ever had, and without it, we're broke. With it, we're broke. Don't you guys realize what a great opportunity this is for us? I don't have to go out on the road anymore. We can all be together.
Yeah. I like it better here than at Grandma's. Yeah. Last time, she dropped her false teeth in my chocolate milk.
They mentioned their grandma here, presumably Carrie's mother. And I would just
I don't
like to
think
point
we
out
ever
that we
see
never
Zack and
meet
Cody's
her in
grandma.
the show. We never hear of her again. So evidently, once they moved out, that woman exceeded their usefulness to the Martin family. Zack and Cody promise to be good. Will they? Down in the lobby, paparazzi are trying to break into the hotel. The kids ride a luggage cart to the candy counter, where a brunette-haired and differently uniformed Maddie explains that a celebrity couple is getting married at the hotel this weekend. And everyone's trying to get a photo. It's like a super famous baseball player and a super famous model, and they're choosing to get married at a hotel.
He's the best player ever. And she's real good at what she does.
Oh, yeah. Takes real brains to sit on a horse in your underwear.
This guy shows up, who previously dropped off the room service. His name is Tuck.
This hotel doesn't run without me.
Bold words for someone we will never see again. Maddie has a crush on him in this scene, and given his prevalence in this pilot, I just genuinely believe that at the time they were filming this, the idea was that Tuck would be a more important character. I don't know if the actor wasn't available or something, or maybe focus groups just didn't like him and he was replaced with Lance or Esteban. But everything about him is giving recurring character vibes right now. Tuck informs the kids that there's a $20,000 prize to whoever can photograph the couple's kiss at their wedding. And they decide this could be their opportunity to help their mom out with her financial situation. In walks London Tipton, and she's quite a bit smarter than we'll ever see her again. Dumb just seemingly wasn't an aspect of her character in this first episode.
My daddy owns the hotel. Duh.
Can we get us in?
Yes! But I'm not going to. Duh. I fly solo.
This is also the first time thus far we've seen her interact with Zack and Cody at all. In this first season, they rarely cross paths. The twins scout out the wedding venue, and upon hearing Beyonce cancel their appearance, suggest Carrie fill in.
She wears your underwear, but she looks a lot different.
They manage to get their mom the gig, but they're still grounded. Zack, however, still wants to kick the plan underway. They look for an air vent opening that'll lead to the wedding. Unfortunately, Mosby spots them.
Do everything to disrupt this wedding, and it will be the last song your mother ever sings at the Tipton. Over, and you're almost out.
That night, Carrie leaves for the wedding, and Zack and Cody get to work. They turn on the bathtub to make it seem like Zack's taking a bath, while he himself changes to his fancy clothes and sneaks out after Cody creates a distraction.
Oh no! I'm falling out the window!
In the vent, Zack runs into London, who was not invited and has to find a way in, seeing as everyone who's anyone is inside. She's a lot more mischievous and willing to get dirty in this pilot than she'll ever be again. They all enter the venue. All the while, Tuck sees the open vent and reports it to hotel security. Maddie, meanwhile, starts to figure out that something has gone wrong.
Snitch!
Cody goes back and forth, playing the role of him and Zack.
She wants to talk to you, Cody. Okay, Zack. Thank you, Cody. You're welcome, Zack.
There's my water.
She enters the room and orders Cody to take her through the air vents to Zack's location. Inside, is Zack successfully able to take the photo. A second paparazzi gets chased out by security, with no one batting an eye at the kid. For some baffling reason, Maddie decides to pull him up through the air vent to get him out instead of just having him exit like a normal person. No one seemed to notice him anyways. London's blackmailed into helping him up when a photo gets snapped of her. The kids crawl back to the suite. Until... busted!
How'd he get in there? Share the money with Mr. Mosby.
Down below, Mosby fills Carrie in on the fact that her children were in the hotel air vents. They say they came to hear her sing.
What happened? Must I be everywhere?
Jerk photographer crashed the wedding.
Don't move.
I hate those people. How could he do something like that?
Maybe he really needed the money? Because he loves his mom?
I don't care what his reason is. It's an invasion of privacy. Those people are just low-life, greedy scum.
This is for you. We didn't sneak in the vent to hear you sing.
Obviously.
We snuck into the air conditioning vent to take a $20,000 picture. We wanted to pay you back the money. We wanted to stop being burdens.
I was trying to stop them.
Better men than you have tried.
Carrie feels bad.
Oh shit, my
Stressed
pencil.
them out about money and tells them that it's her job to worry about that. It's their job to be kids. However, they're grounded for another week. Racing back to the room, they knock over a vase again, and the camera snaps a photo as the episode ends. I think this was a strong pilot. It introduced all the elements of the series and all the characters really effectively. I can absolutely see why this took off and why the producers took to this little sitcom, as well as the children, of which I was one. So a couple different things about this pilot that stick out to me. First off, all these blue rooms are never seen again. They were only in this pilot and they were probably torn down. This wedding room, the hallway. By the time the show actually starts production, there's a new lounge set built for Carrie. White and light blue are just never part of the Tipton's color palette again. Zach and Cody, as depicted in this pilot, are completely identical in personality. They're both equally intelligent, equally sneaky. There's only one little moment where Zach acts as the instigator.
There is no way you were talking me into another one of your idiotic schemes. Mad Dog the Bird Dog, are you in position?
I don't think they had their distinct personalities pegged yet when they pinned this first episode. All the Tipton staff have walkie-talkie radios in this episode that they're all talking to each other on in the background, and we never see those again. The main thing that sticks out to me is just how different London is. Because she's the rich hotel heiress, but she doesn't seem to have any of the privileges that come with that. She doesn't have the power to get into this wedding. Her and Maddie are like equally helpless characters.
Hello, Maddie. Hi, London.
And this makes them really snappy towards each other, as opposed to the actual series, where London has everything and Maddie has nothing. And London is too dumb to really hate Maddie and too dumb to notice that Maddie hates her. It's a very different dynamic, as opposed to here, where they're both very openly hostile to each other all the time.
I fly solo.
Oh, yeah. Like that time you let yourself into that rock source room with the master key? Johnny Rip thought it was endearing.
The second episode they did, which was that first one we covered, the first one they aired, seems like it was designed to retool their relationship to be friendlier. They were probably just thinking in terms of longevity, because I could imagine something that harsh and negative could become grating after 89 episodes.
Children sometimes can be a burden.
You want synchronized watches?
Code red on the message. Kill you to behave.
Episode 6, The Prince and the Plunger, serves as our introduction to Arwen, the hotel's quirky engineer who has a sort of fun uncle dynamic with Zach and Cody. Throughout the rewatch, a massive question I had was, what is Arwen? What's his job title? Is he a janitor?
I thought he was the mechanic.
It's not until season 2, episode 16 that we finally hear him called an engineer. And it wasn't until I stayed at the Fairmont that I realized hotel engineers are a thing. Like, there was a bunch of guys in fancy overalls who all looked like Arwen walking around there, and I've genuinely never seen that in my life before. Because the hotels I stay at
Are poor.
are for losers. So Arwen's the engineer, it's not a
I think
big
I was
mystery,
kinder in my
but,
delivery than he
He's
was.
seemingly the hotel's only engineer, so he really has his work cut out for him here. The twins are chewed out for playing teen-rated games instead of cleaning their room.
Muriel, I do not want you cleaning the boys' room today. That makes 2 of us. When they're done here, send them to 318. It's a pigsty.
But when Carrie receives flowers and a poem from a secret admirer, they want to figure out who it's from. Downstairs, they begin their quest to find their mother's admirer.
Nothing happens at this hotel that I don't know.
But who could it be?
I don't know.
They suspect the flowers are from a concierge named Surge. A concierge being a hotel employee whose job is to assist guests by arranging tours, making theater and restaurant reservations, etc. Motel 6 could never. They convince Carrie to talk to Surge, who claims responsibility for the letter and asks her out on a date. But that night, he turns out to be a bit of a fake asshole, not particularly caring about Zach and Cody much at all.
I love kids. Right.
I'm not getting a very good vibe from this guy.
How's it going?
Great, cute kids.
Seeing that their parent locked their game, they go downstairs to ask Arwen if he can fix it. In his basement, they discover he has a crush on Carrie and a love of poetry. And they put the pieces together that he's the admirer. Now they have to course correct their mistakes.
Hey guys, I unlocked your game. I also removed all the killing and fighting, so it basically stinks now.
Hey, Owen, tell Mom about the poem and flowers you sent her. Tell her it wasn't Serge.
Kids. Your imagination. I gotta go.
Well, that was embarrassing.
I'd like to inform/remind you all that Brian Stepanek was in 2007's Transformers film and he was pissed on by Bumblebee.
Oh, that's right. Not lubricating.
Downstairs, they ask Arwen why he
Dude,
denied their
I have those
accusations, and he
movies.
feels she's just too far out of his league. He's right.
I hold up my socks with duct tape.
So to boost his confidence, they set him up on a practice date with Muriel, where it turns out his initial fears were fully founded. He's a loser.
Beautiful earlobes.
Harry starts to become suspicious of Serge when he shows no real knowledge of poetry. A few feet away, our protagonists commence their next operation, which is a lot simpler today. They impersonate a foreign prince and demand 10 gallons of ghost milk for his wife's bath, prompting Serge to head out. Apparently, you're not allowed to be off the clock in this hotel.
This is Prince Wapalapa Shamalama Ding Dong.
Now they send Arwen to the table and tell him to woo their mom. But given that he's Arwen, he's largely unsuccessful.
There's a wad of hair the size of your head.
It eventually comes out that Arwen did write the poem, and Carrie thanks him, but tells him she simply isn't interested.
Arwen, I'm flattered that you like me enough to send flowers and write beautiful poetry and bathe. But
Not the butt.
you're a sweet guy, but I don't think this is gonna work.
Probably stick to admiring from afar. It's much less painful.
Yeah, but nothing ventured, nothing gained. Just because it didn't work out with me doesn't mean it won't work out with someone else.
And I think had they left it here, this would have been a pitch-perfect resolution to this Arwen likes Harry story. Sometimes crushes just aren't reciprocated.
I don't want to do this
wrong
anymore.
with putting yourself out there, says
I know for like 20 minutes I
Arwen
was
isn't
gone.
entertaining enough character on his own. He doesn't need this
But,
crush
like-
on Carrie to be enjoyable, especially not
And
to
I'm
an audience
done.
of 8-year-old boys who don't care about the romance between the adult characters. But alas, this crush is here to stay. Arwen will simply learn nothing. Which is fine, it's a sitcom. I love the B story though. It's one of my favorite things this show ever did. Mr. Tipton's called to inform Mosby that he'll be able to attend the father-daughter dance at London's school. However, London
So I'm gonna
does not
go.
seem particularly interested. Mosby starts micromanaging, wondering what London will wear, making sure the hotel's ready for his boss's arrival. London doesn't think he'll come and would rather go swimming with friends. Mosby, however, convinces London that he'll be there. In comes the
leaving.